Welcome to the Daily Dharma, a gentle podcast where we read a philosophical story every week and reflect on how it relates to everyday life. Our focus is to use Buddhist philosophy to understand the complexity of modern life and find achievable and accessible pathways to peace. Hi everyone, welcome to the Daily Dharma. In this episode, we'll be talking about moments of lightness and why it's important to have them, especially when we're struggling. The story that we'll be reflecting on this theme is called The Earthquake, and it comes from the book Tiger, Mouse, Strawberry by Yuki Zenda. Here is how the story goes. An earthquake suddenly shook the foundations of a quiet Zen temple. The tremors were so strong that parts of the temple collapsed, causing panic among the inhabitants. When the seismic tremor finally subsided, the venerable master addressed his shocked disciples. In this moment of crisis, the master began calmly, you have been allowed to observe the behavior of a true Zen practitioner. You see, I remained calm and did not let myself be overcome by panic. I was entirely in tune with the situation, and I knew exactly how to react. I led each of you to the shelter of the kitchen, the most stable area of our temple. This choice proved to be the right one, as we all escaped unharmed from danger. Although the master demonstrated unwavering self-control, he admitted, nevertheless, I must confess that I was overcome by a trace of tension, a crack in my otherwise firm facade. Perhaps this became evident when I drank water, something I would never do under normal circumstances. Amused by this confession, a faint smile tugged at one of the monks' lips, but he remained silent. The master, curious about what the monk's reaction was for, asked him, I can see you smiling a little bit there. Why are you smiling? What's the source of your joy? With a touch of mischief, the monk replied, Please forgive my laughter, venerable master. However, the liquid you consumed was not water. It was actually a large glass of soy sauce. The aisles of the temple were momentarily filled with laughter as the shared joy illuminated the profound truth that even amid life's greatest upheavals, unexpected moments of lightness and happiness can be found. I couldn't help but feel a great smile spread across my face when I read this story. It's so frightening to be in an earthquake, one that has even collapsed part of the structure that you're living in, that you call home. But how wonderful is it that in all of this, they were able to find this little moment of humor, laughter, and connection, something to ease the tension, to let their muscles just relax for 1 second as they escape the danger unharmed. Because even if their bodies are unharmed, their mind, maybe even their spirit, is afraid. And that's where these little moments of lightness can really help. Because the scars that we carry are not just physical, they are often psychological. And in order to treat, or rather give ourselves little moments where we get to forget just for a second all the scars that we carry. That's why moments of lightness can be really healing and also a much needed rest from everyday life. This is a funny thing that happened to me yesterday. And I wasn't necessarily having a bad day. I was rather having a good day, but I was putting in a piece of garbage to my garbage can. And this is the outdoor garbage can when it started vibrating. And I was like, well, okay, this is happening. And then a massive raccoon just calmly jumped out of the garbage can and politely left. And it really made me laugh. But I think those are the kind of moments that even remembering it cheers me up. And I know when I'm having a difficult day, I could just pull that memory out of my back pocket and laugh all over again. And how funny it was that the garbage can started to come to life, and it was just a large raccoon after all. And how polite he was and just scurrying away as if, I had been intruding on his home and he had a place to go. A very busy raccoon. But I think that is actually a very important trick or technique that has helped me actually, is to remember or to write down the moments of lightness. And this could be as simple as just a little notepad on your phone, or even a little journal entry. Or maybe if you just commit to remembering it, it becomes a Rolodex of moments of lightness that you can turn to when things are a little bit difficult, when they're a little bit tough. And I really think that, and I really appreciate when we are around people who can make, even for a moment, a really heavy situation a little bit funnier, a little bit lighter, because it reminds us that in a moment, our mood, our perspectives, our feelings can change. And that gives us a great sense of hope that the situation at large over time can also change. Because I do think that in the same way that our environment informs us, how we feel also informs the environment. So even when something bad is happening, such as something difficult with your home is not doing well, if you can change the environment within yourself, then that gives a greater, I would say, chance or hope within you that, hey, there's evidence that change is possible. I am that evidence. And thus, the situation outside of myself can also change. And of course, things don't necessarily change all on their own. It takes, I would say, oftentimes a lot of effort, a lot of trying, a lot of failing. But if we keep that hope intact, eventually something will shift. And maybe the thing that shifts the most is really the perspective on ourselves, what we think we deserve, what we think we are capable of, and the people that we choose to keep close to us in our life. But even those things, those changes and shifts, can make a profound difference in how we experience and feel life. And it could all come from one moment of laughter that diverts you from going down a path of only focusing on your pain and your suffering. And that's not to say the pain and the suffering is not important, because it is very important to be present and to witness your pain and suffering. But I also think too that it's very important to remember that no matter how much suffering our body is carrying from all the things we've experienced in life, our body can also carry those moments of lightness where we shared an unexpected moment of laughter with ourselves, with our pets, with strangers in public, with even our friends, old friends. Keeping those memories within us is a way to just cut through the tension of a difficult moment or even a difficult month or a difficult year. And in return, when we allow ourselves to just relax and sink into the laughter a little bit, as these monks did in this story, it's a wonderful, wonderful reminder that change is possible and that we are often the greatest evidence of that change that we are hoping for in our lives. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. For everyone who tuned in for the Wednesday episode, thank you so much as well. I thought because Wednesday's topic was a little bit on the heavier side, that today going for something a little bit lighter would be a nice contrast. So I really appreciate everyone who tuned in on Wednesday. If you have any episode requests, questions, or thoughts you'd like to share with me, please email me anytime at dailydharmapodcast@gmail.com. And may you have a beautiful, safe, and joyful week ahead of you. Until next week.